What's up? What's up? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Hit that like. Sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. Salute to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and boxing community. And salute to all of my subs that's rocking with me. Day ones, as well as my new subs. All right, last night, man, I told the brother K Dizzle, shout out to Kevin. I told K Dizzle last night that I was gonna put basketball on the back burner, and that's what I did. I had an opportunity to take a look at the hold on one sec. I had an opportunity to take a look at the Packers versus the Lions. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Trying to get my seat right. All right. I had an opportunity to take a look at the Packers versus the Lions, and I put a community post, and I said that this may very well be the supremacy fight for the NFC. Jordan Love, he outplayed Jared Goff, but I still got Jared Goff as the MVP candidate because coming into this game, he was 11-0 at in Detroit at home. What's up, Matt? He has a 70% completion percentage. So what that tells me is that he's going to be unstoppable at the crib. But Jordan Love outplayed him. They just fell short. It was a good game, and if it wasn't for a combination, I'm talking about with Green Bay on the Green Bay end. If it wasn't for Josh Jacobson, and if it wasn't for Watson, Green Bay wouldn't have been in it. And Jordan Love. Josh Jacobson, Ted, you're right, man. He is not getting his props for being the one of the elite running backs. Watson, he's an automatic catch. What's up with it, Matt Moses? Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Harris. Campbell, Gussie called. Well, like I told you, everybody wanted to disagree with me. Everybody wanted to sit up there and they wanted to say, oh, yeah, well, Dan Campbell, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do that this season. Dan Campbell has improved pretty much in all aspects. Like, last season, he probably would have lost this game. What's up, Alex? Now, you know Alex is going to come in here talking shit. You know Alex is going to come in here talking shit. I already know. That's the only time Alex really compensates is when Detroit wins, when Michigan wins. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you're not gonna get a conversation out of Alex. Hey, look, I put to you like this: if Detroit Pistons win the championship, Oh man, I want to see how much Alex would say if the Detroit Lions win the championship. I really want to see what Alex would say if Michigan. Well, Michigan already done won the championship, but you really didn't have much to say because a lot of people didn't feel like that championship was won fairly. He made. Hey, yeah, you're right. Ted. He went out of his way to salute Ted, especially after that Ohio State Michigan riot, man. Nah, but I think that this will be very well the supremacy fight for for the NFC. Now, I still got the Lions coming out of the NFC, but I've kind of changed it up a little bit. I want to stick with the Commanders being the guys that could actually knock off Detroit, but I don't know, man. Jade, the Commanders have kind of slipped. Now they beat Tennessee, but everybody's gonna beat Tennessee. But I really want to see how they're gonna pan out. Now we got the weather. We got this cold ass weather playing. Uh, it's starting to play a factor. It's going to be a big factor for a lot of teams. The weather does play a factor when we're talking about some of these teams. But it was a good win by Detroit. I mean, field goal or not, they still won the game. We could sit up here, we could say, oh, they won by a field goal. They were playing line of scrimmage game, all that other stuff, defensive game. That's what you're supposed to do. That's at the end of the day, like, even if the score was like below 10, like, if it was like a 6-7 game or something like that, a win is a win. But I don't know how this is going to play out. Now, everybody has switched up in the AFC. I'm going to say this. From talking to a lot of people, everybody has switched up in the AFC. A lot of people are no longer looking at the Ravens as a threat. And I never really was looking at the Ravens as a true threat going in the beginning of the season. Now it's starting to unfold, like I told you. Now you're hearing a lot of people choosing the Steelers. You're hearing a lot of people choosing the Bills, of course, to knock off KC. I still got Kansas City coming out of there. All right, hold on. My bad, y'all. Hold on one second. All right. But I still got KC coming out of there. Now, the especially the playoffs. There's not a lot of people that can play in Arrowhead. So that's going to be a key factor. This weather, though, I always got to go back to the weather. If you're a player, much less even your team, that really can't stand cold weather, this really isn't going to be the time for you. And we've seen that happen with Miami, of course, when they faced the Ravens. You said Steelers are the sleepers. I don't even have them as a sleeper no more, Chad. I got them actually being legitimate guys on the forefront. I don't. If they're that good, like the Steelers, they're tricky. They're starting to become a team that can play a multitude of ways. You have two quarterbacks in Wilson and Fields. You could Cypress was saying. Shout out to Cypress TV because that's his squad. Shout out to the brother Cypress TV. You know, he was always talking about how Mike Tomlin can run a package for Justin Fields at times, sort of like what they were doing with, to a certain extent, what they were doing with Tim Tebow a while back. Well, I think when Tim Tebow was with the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, I forget which team it was, but they were running a package for him. But we're not saying that Justin Fields is on a Tim Tebow level or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He's way better than Tim Tebow. But what I'm saying is that Justin Fields can come in and fill the void. He's already done it before, and he showed that he could keep things afloat. And so you have that instance. You already, like I've said before, you can build this team around Watt. Okay, you could build that team around Watt in terms of the defense. Then on top of that, you have a decent receiving core, and then you have a pretty solid running game. So the Steelers are definitely cooking with grease, man. They definitely cooking with grease. And I had them knocking off KC. You know, but KC is hard to beat. You know, you got D-Hop, you got Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes heats up. It's weird. He heats up right at this time of year when it's all cold and everybody, the weather is getting to everybody. Pat Mahomes does the complete opposite. It doesn't get to him. He actually thrives off of it. But besides that, right now it's up for grabs for anybody. We still can't forget about Minnesota. That's another thing too. That's another thing, Ted. In your division, you can't forget about Minnesota. I forgot about that. Minnesota is a threat too. They can challenge the NFC supremacy too as well. So between those three teams that I named, the Minnesota Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, and the Detroit Lions, and also the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, y'all got a tough division. Hey, man, so if I don't see it, if I try to think that I'm not seeing y'all comments and stuff. Now, I want to talk about something else. I'm gonna talk about hoops now. You said Packers are still a problem in the playoff. It's one and done, not a series. Yeah, well, like I said, Jordan Love, Jordan Love is doing his job, Ted. Jordan Love is doing his job. Josh Jacobson is doing his job. Watson doing his job. I think Watson had what nine catches for 114 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns though, but he was still solid. He made some really key catches, man, to really move the chain. So y'all have a good young core. I think what Josh Jacobson ain't nothing but 24, 25 years old. Watson is like, he's still young. And then, of course, Jordan Love. I've always been a fan of Jordan Love, man. Everybody was hating on Jordan Love except me. I'm not even a Packers fan. Yep, y'all do. Hey, Chad, listen, I want you to understand something. I know I don't talk about the Packers much, but one could argue y'all have, from a talent perspective, y'all actually have more talent this season than y'all have had in the past. And I know some people are going to bring up the Super Bowls and stuff like that. Let me say something right now, man. All right, and I know people are going to get upset. They're going to get in their feelings. They're going to get mad, including you, Chad, including you. Jordan Love is showing potential to be better than Aaron Rodgers in terms of longevity. Jordan Love is going to show that he's more consistent, if that makes any sense. Aaron Rodgers, I know people are going to trip out when I say this, but to me, Jordan Love showed the potential that he can get it done on a big stage. Okay, I'm not saying that Jordan Love is an all-around better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, but he does great things. But his mentality, man. Right, and I know you don't. And it's hard for you to see because you're so, listen, you're heavily fixated on Aaron Rodgers and his MVPs and all this other stuff. But it did not get you anywhere. It never got you anywhere. It only got you one championship. You had all the MVPs in the world. But when it came down to it, Aaron Rodgers folded under pressure. That's what we have to understand. Jordan Love shows better. Yes, he got knocked out last season, but everybody was expecting the Cowboys to beat him and beat the brakes off of the Green Bay Packers. And he came in and was and really on a national stage and sucked the life out of the building. Pause. Aaron Rodgers has not been known to do that. And I know that's hard for you. I know that's hard for you Packers fans to hear. And I only mentioned Aaron Rodgers. I didn't mention Brett Favre. I didn't mention Brett Favre. So, but yeah, from a talent perspective, the Packers they're showing that they possibly are better than they've been in the past or whatever. Even, you know what I'm saying, when they had, Devontae Adams or whatnot. Now, I want to talk about this situation, man. I had somebody come in my comment section, and they were doing Wizards Jordan, as if I had a problem with Wizards Jordan or something like that, or as if I stated that Wizards Jordan was trash or something like that. Let me explain something, man, about Wizards Jordan. I want to give a shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants. Definitely go sub to his channel. Now, he put up a post, man, and it showed Jordan. I think he had like 43 points, 10 rebounds, or something like that, man. Uh, you said I'm a Steelers fan, but Rodgers is a bad man. Well, yeah, he's terrible, and he's playing terrible right now. Yeah, was he a bad man when it came to the conference championship? Was he a bad man when he faced Aaron Rodgers? Has he been a bad man this year? Consistently fails under pressure. Was he a bad man when he got beat against the 49ers by by Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, come on, man, make it make sense. He's great. You were happy. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what everybody. Listen, really, people were pushing for a. They wanted to see a Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady Super Bowl. That was the dream. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see that, and that was the closest thing that we got to see to a Super Bowl. But Brady was going to blow him out of the water regardless. If we're talking talent wise, Aaron Rodgers is way better than Tom Brady. But if we're talking about just an overall player mentality, I mean, it's more than just the thrower of the football. Tom Brady smokes Aaron Rodgers. Nah, I don't want to hear that. Did he have help from the refs during that season? Come on, man. Let's stop all that. Tom Brady, going into that season, Chad. First off, Tom Brady barely was able to work out with everything that he had going on. He had a lot of stuff working against him. If you remember, I know Carter remembers this. That championship, the last championship season that we had with when we had AB Evans, when we had yeah, when we had got Gronk, all them. That last championship that we had, come on, man. That last championship that we had, Brady had to play. He really had to play. He didn't really have that much help. So all the excuses, you could say it was the refs in the past, and Spygate and all this other stuff, Deflategate, whatever you want to call it. Every time y'all have said something about Brady, he has came back and he has backed it up. This guy was fighting court cases, going through a whole big ass court case. Barely played, barely was in training camp, and still came out and bust their ass. And everybody said that he was a cheater the previous season, and still came back and won a Super Bowl. How amazing is that, man? So I don't want to hear nothing. Oh man, it was the refs. Man, it was the refs. Nah, man, Brady is just simply a better player than Aaron Rodgers. and you know, a lot of Packers fans, they don't like to hear that. You know, y'all don't like to hear the fact that Brady is better than Rodgers, because if we're talking talent wise, yes, Rodgers is great. You know, MVPs, all that other bullshit, but it never got him multiple Lombardis. That's a fact. Yes, he did. And I like Drew Brees. Besides, you know, that little stuff that, you know, went down with him or whatever. But as a quarterback, I used to like Drew Brees, but he doesn't touch Brady. Only one that's getting ready to touch Brady right now is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, if he wins a Super Bowl, this season, Pat Mahomes is in the conversation. That I will agree with Town Business. Shout out to Town Business. Salute to him. Salute to the LWBC brother. Town Biz is 100% correct. If Pat Mahomes wins a championship, he's done something that Brady has never done. 3 straight, man. Peyton Manning hating on Pat Mahomes. Man, Peyton Manning need to sit his ass down, man. Man, look, he the complete opposite of what he the complete opposite of what Pat Mahomes is. Like, he'll play great in the regular season and it plays like shit when it comes to the playoffs. Pat Mahomes does the complete opposite. He'll play like shit during the regular season, but come the playoffs, he heats up at the right time. Man, Pat Mahomes ain't worried about Peyton Manning. Man, he too busy. He too busy getting Lombardis. And you can hate on him all day. Hey, look, does he play like a traditional way of football and all this bullshit? No. But he winning, man. Hate all day, man. That's what I'm saying. That's why I got more respect for Eli Manning than I do Peyton Manning. Eli Manning played way better in the playoffs than he did than Peyton Manning did, and that's a fact. Go look at the numbers. And everybody swears up and down Peyton Manning was so better than Eli Manning. Go look at the regular season numbers. Eli Manning, y'all make it seem like Eli Manning was just a horrible quarterback, like this guy was a mediocre quarterback. No, Eli Manning, he brought 2 chips to New York and look at New York now. They got rid of Daniel Jones and everything. Daniel Jones have made a chess move going over there to Minnesota. Salute, you said the Lions are playing great football, but always remember, Lions come short in the playoff. Yeah, but this isn't the past, Steven. And on top of that, Dan Campbell, I think, you know, the Lions really have a formula that really can be mentioned. You said Peyton Manning was a scrub first 4 seasons. 02. Well, yeah, exactly, Ted. When Peyton Manning first, I ain't gonna call him a scrub, but there were a lot of people questioning Peyton Manning when he came out of Tennessee. They were starting to question him because he threw a lot of interceptions. As much as y'all want to criticize, he want to criticize Pat Mahomes. Go look at his interception. Go look at his TD to INT. Go look at it at the beginning of the year or the beginning of his career. Then you'll slow down on the criticism. You'll slow down on the criticism of Eli Manning and stuff. Eli Man, he y'all act like he smokes Eli Manning. No, he doesn't. Eli Manning is just as good as Peyton Manning, if not better. Go look at the numbers and go look at how he performed in the playoffs. How many rings does Eli Manning have? Okay, and then how many rings does Peyton Manning have? They got the same amount of rings. Go look at their playoffs and what they did. Eli Manning wasn't that bad. Everybody, Sheila Manning and all this other bullshit. I put to you like this. I'll take Eli Manning over Aaron Rodgers, and I know that hurts some people's feelings. Oh my God, you'll take Eli Manning? Yes, I will, cause I know we gonna win. You guaranteed to lose with Aaron Rodgers. The reason Peyton was good is because the coaches had a good defense, offensive line. Yeah, he had a good offensive line, and he always had always had great running backs. Of course, he had Edrin. Always had dope ass receivers. Always had dope ass receivers. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not taking nothing away from Peyton Manning. He was a great quarterback, but everybody acts like what's his name? Eli Manning was so much worse than Peyton Manning, and that's just not the truth, man. Pierre, yeah. I remember God, man. I used to like him. I used to play with him on Madden. I used to like the Indiana Colts, Indianapolis Colts on Madden. But now that y'all in here, man, I got to talk about something else, man. I want to talk about this Wizards Jordan logic, man. We've been having a lot of conversations about Jordan and LeBron and his age and all that stuff. I never said Wizards Jordan was trash. Let's get that out of the way. I never said that. Okay. I want people to understand that. I think some people they really misquote what I say about uh, certain players. I never wanted Jordan to come back that second time because I wanted him to close the chapter on his career. It would have been a lot better. Him hitting a shot over Russell to seal the deal in 9-8 against Utah. To me, that was a better story ending than him coming back from the front office and him playing, with a team that had really no shot of making the playoffs. And then on top of that, your body is was a little bit different. You got to think about the injuries that you were fighting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the ribs and the knees and all that. But I never said that Jordan, was trash or anything like that. Some people they get my words really messed up. Hold on. They get my words messed up. Um, Jordan, this is the thing about Jordan. He made the decision to come back, and I'm really To be honest with you, I can't say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the decision that he made. Um, you know, that's something that he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? You live with the results. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but to sit here and say that he was trash or he was garbage and all this other nonsense that some people say, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. Jordan played better than most 40-year-olds did. We could get into the comparisons of LeBron and how he played versus Jordan being 40 years old and stuff like that. That's because that conversation is going to come up. Oh, LeBron was better than Jordan, at 40 and all this other stuff. Like Jordan never missed 19, 20 straight 3-pointers. Okay. Okay. He made the playoffs last season. That's great. You were still knocked out in the first round. You know. Now, and I already know that that's going to come up. Yeah, Jordan did not make the playoffs with the Wizards. He didn't make it. But I mean, he came back for the love of the game. Do I like it personally? No. But he still came back. That was a decision that he's gonna have to live with. He wasn't like now. He went from Air Jordan to Floor Jordan. That's pretty much what it was. I didn't want him to come back though. Me myself personally, I didn't want him because I was a huge Jordan fan, and I wanted him to just stay put, stay where you at, and that was that. So him coming back, I really didn't want him to do that. But a lot of people, I had somebody come in my comment section and they try to explain how how he was on defense and stuff like that. I mean, that all that is fine from an individual standpoint, but I wanted to see if Jordan was going to contribute team wise. That's what it really was about. I mean, first off, Doug Collins is I got respect for Doug Collins, but he wasn't a good coach, man. He wasn't a good coach, man. His thing was he was so heavily, even at that age, even as they got older, because that was the coach of the Wizards. I mean, Ted, for real, he wasn't a good coach, man. He was not a good coach, man. I mean, I got respect for him, but he wasn't a good coach. And that's gonna hurt some people's feelings. Like if you match it, can you put Doug Collins in the same sentence? Can you put him in the Yeah, can you put Doug Collins in the same sentence as a Larry Brown? No, you can't. Can you put Doug Collins in the same sentence as a Pat Riley? No, you can't. You can't even put Doug Collins in the same sentence as Doc Rivers. You know what I mean? You can't put him in the same sentence. Can you put Doug Collins in the same sentence as a Greg Popovich? As a Chuck Daly? Hell, Eric Spoelstra? Can you? No. You can't put him in the same sentence. So, um, he let Jordan do what he want. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much and that wasn't gonna win. That wasn't gonna win our championships. Um, it's just like the night before last, Chuck and Shaq, they got into it. Okay, like always, they had a heated debate, and this was about this was it was about coaching, whether or not a coach and his philosophy is needed in order for to have a player and a team to have success. Shaq's argument, I mean, he clearly lost that debate. You know what I'm saying? Shaq got in his feelings like always. Chuck was right this time, and so was Kenny. They both cooked Shaq because Shaq was saying, "Oh well, I don't need nobody to give me a pat, somewhere and to motivate me. At the end of the day, I'm the player. I do what I want, stuff like that." Well, that's why you only have 4 championships. Okay, now you got 4 of them, but you could have been a lot better had you really truly listened to Phil Jackson a lot more than what you did. Because as much as people want to sit up here and say that Kobe was stubborn, he didn't listen, he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, Shaq was very stubborn. Shaq's work habits were not good, and Phil Jackson had to get on to Shaq, but they don't talk about that sort of thing. Shaq was lazy too. Shaq he didn't want to buy into Phil Jackson's philosophy no more than what Kobe did. But Kobe, I'll give you a prime example. Phil Jackson already knew that Kobe was stubborn. He liked to do things his own way. Um, he had a no nonsense type of personality or whatever, and he hated to be, he kind of hated authority to a certain degree. But Kobe was willing to buy in. He was willing to listen. A prime example is that he was talking about like on the fast break and stuff. Early in Kobe's career, Kobe just wanted to come through the middle and just bang on you on like a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2. But he had to teach Kobe, okay, in order for you to be successful, you have to use your team. And it took Kobe a while to understand that, but he was able to grasp the concept. And that's where coaching comes in. That's my whole point of this. Shaq's up in here talking about, oh yeah, well he didn't need coaches, he don't need coaches. Yes, you do. You do need to coach. Now, like, okay, when it comes to like last season, Ted, when it came to the Nuggets versus the Lakers, there are a lot of instances where the coach, they can only do so much. Execution is going to come on the player. So when it comes to, okay, when LeBron is missing a wide open clutch 3-pointer, that's not on the coach. That's on the player. That's on you. Okay? Um, you missing reads and missing backdoor cuts and stuff like that. That doesn't fall on the coach. That falls on you. So there's only so much that a coach can do in that regard. So when Shaq says something like, "Oh yeah, I don't need no coach or anything like that," well, if they're trying to make some sort of adjustments or something like that, well, in this case, in a lot of cases, yes, you do need coaching. That's why Tim Duncan. I wish a lot of people would, and this is another thing. I wish a lot of people would give Tim Duncan more of his credit. Tim Duncan had always said that's what playoffs is about, is adjustments. You said Shaq didn't have Brian Hill was a good coach, man. Brian Hill was a good coach. They made it. They made it to the finals, man. And the Orlando Magic were a really, they could have won. They could have won, but they ran into a a more experienced, a better, just a better all around team. When they ran into the Houston Rockets, I'm talking about that season. And that's one of the talking points that Kenny had came up with. He was like, "Well, did y'all get swept?" And it took Shaq a minute to answer, but they got swept, man. Now, I'm gonna talk about this next thing, man, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close on this. I want to talk about the Ultimate Warrior. I know I'm all over the place. I'm talking about I went from football to basketball to WWE. You know what I'm saying? I'm all over the place. I um for those of y'all that don't know, the Ultimate Warrior is my favorite wrestler. Okay, and here's why. In the short career I know wrestling is fake, but I love the Ultimate Warrior, man. I love the Ultimate Warrior, bro. Like, God rest his soul. Ultimate Warrior destroyed everybody when he first got into the WW at that time WWF. Nobody was fucking with Ultimate Warrior. Let's just be real. Like, Ultimate Warrior had more excitement. He whooped Hogan. He had Hogan, dog. He murdered Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he pretty much shoulder pressed Hogan like you're not the face, and just dominated him. Like, he was beating every single body, man, when he first got in there, man. Like, you look, man, it was just straight running, like you knew what was coming. Like, he would run to the ring, get up under the rope, and get right to work. Yeah. Like, that's why I like him. But his career, it wasn't as long as, like a Hulk Hogan or Undertaker or anything. And Undertaker is my second favorite of all time too. If y'all don't know, um, I rank them right now. I got Ultimate Warrior, okay, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, uh, and if we're really if we're talking like just all around, you know what I'm saying? I will go ahead and um I'll go Sting, and the reason is because I said all around is because I like Sting better when he was in the WCW. Ricky Steamboat, yeah, I don't have no problem with who you choose, but Ultimate Warrior, you put anybody up against Ultimate Warrior, they're not winning. And see, the thing about it, the reason why everybody, oh, you ain't got Hulk Hogan. Well, first off, Hulk Hogan is racist. Okay, let's just call it what it is. And then on top of that, um, Hulk Hogan he didn't have any moves. He wasn't athletic. You know what I'm saying? Hulk Hogan could barely move, man. You know what I'm saying? My nigga, True the King, man. Man, where the hell you been at, nigga? Ah, man, y'all go sub to my nigga, True the King, man. No, True the King act like he don't know nobody no more, man. Salute to True the King, man. True the King is a Celtics fan. I talk. He talk on his channel. He talk hip hop, box. True the King, like me, we be all over the fucking place. He be talking. He talk about life, basketball, football. Motherfucker be talking about hockey. goddamn tennis. But the one thing about True the King, he is a veteran, man. So salute to all of my veterans that front line. Shout out to True the King, one of the LDBC brothers, man. Go sub to his channel. But anyway, yeah, I got Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior, he smoke everybody. He smokes everybody, man. I like Kurt Angle, Carter. You know, Kurt Angle went hard, and there was a time period when I liked. I used to like Demolition Man. You know what I'm saying? I used to like Demolition Man, and I also like Legion of Doom, or Road Warriors, whatever you want to call them. You know, so. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit the notifications too. Shouts out to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and boxing community. Until then, man, it's straight to the point. I'm out.